in this video, I'm going to show you everything I've brought down to my essential pack list in years of solo backpacking. I did want to take you outside for this, but I actually have COVID right now, so we're filming indoors. Hey Adventure Buddy, if you're new here, my name is Sarah. You may have seen me on the Discovery Channel show Naked and Afraid a few times, and everything on this channel is here to help you gear up, get out, and thrive beyond the trail. And we're gonna get started with my backpack. By the way, as I'm editing this, I have no idea how I forgot to tell you about the Garmin InReach Mini. This is an emergency personal response beacon, also known as EPIRB. You really, really need this if you're going into the backcountry alone. Highly recommend. Worth the money because it's worth your life. Also, your parents' peace of mind. You can text your parents and let them know you're still alive, which they're gonna wonder because you're a solo backpacker and a woman. Now let's get back to the bags. I have an ultralight and a more regular one. So let's clear the table and let's get started. This is my Gregory Diva I have had since 2011. It actually is still relatively lightweight, but what I love about it is, as somebody who has, I broke my back in 2012, I have degenerative disc disease, so having these really thick, padded hips and back that move independently, this is really, really amazing if you have any sort of sensitive back or joint issues. Most of you, if you're into like trendy stuff though, you're not gonna like this bag as much. You were gonna like something more like my Arc'teryx bag. And by the way, links for everything I'm showing you are in the description below. This Arc'teryx bag, as you can see, is super lightweight. I think it's like 2 pounds or less. You have a very minimal hip pad. I was a little concerned about this bottom part. It's got a bit of an edge right on the lumbar, but I got it at REI, so I have a year to return it, and it ended up being great. I've probably done, I don't know, maybe like 60 miles with this, so not a crazy amount, but enough to break it in and feel it. It's super flexible. It's a great backup chair to sit on. You have one compartment here, and then the rest is just a stuff bag in. One thing I love about this bag as a YouTuber is this pocket. It's great for putting my camera and snacks in. Regardless of which of these bags I use, they always get packed with the same things. So let's start with my sleep system. So as a survivalist, I always think about packing the way I think about survival: shelter, water, fire, food. So I'm gonna start with shelter, my physical shelter, and then my personal body shelter, AKA clothing. So I have my sleeping pad. This is the Big Agnes Rapide SL, so it's a little wider. It's 25 by 72 inches, which means I can roll around. It's also insulated, and it comes with an inflating bag. This is my Big Agnes tent. I keep the stakes separate for packing, but this is a Tiger Wall 2-person tent. I found it's great for 2 people. It's amazing for 1 person. This is the REI Magma 30 sleeping bag. I know quilts are really in right now. They do have a quilt version of this, which I was gonna get, but to be honest with you, I use my sleeping bag like a quilt anyway. It's really not that big a difference. The main difference between the bag and the quilt for me is obviously the hood, the mummy hood. And as much as I don't like mummy sleeping bags, I prefer to just use this like a blanket. When it is cold and you want your head covered, you really want your head covered. And what I love about this is that it has a little thing to go around your neck when you zip up. So you're super duper cozy. And I got the medium wide so that I'm not like trapped. I can still move around a bit in this. Oh my God, it's so hot. One thing I love about this is the color inside. have it. Another amazing detail, this zipper. It's got this really nice separator that helps avoid the very common problem of zipping up your bag when you're in it. I also have it in the C2 Summit Ultra Sil 8-liter bag. This is waterproof, obviously. This is a down sleeping bag, so I use it to keep my bag nice and dry. And while I often will do this trick with my puffer to make a pillow, as I've gotten older, I now consider a pillow an essential packing item. So this is the C to Summit Aeros pillow, or Aeros pillow. And while it weighs a little more, this is the best sleep system, most comfortable I have ever had, ever. And while I'm a big fan of the Mini, Squeeze, and Sawyer water filtration systems, I tend to backpack and stay in one place for a few days, which is why this Katahdin 3-liter filter is my go-to. It's one of the fastest filters I had ever used. It has this great click-in hose, so you can shorten it to cut some weight, and everything packs down to actually about the size as a Sawyer filter and works much faster and gives me much more water. And while the Katahdin does cost a little more, with my cook kit I definitely saved a ton of money because everything you see here is generic. Instead of buying the fancy Snow Peak stove, I just got this one off Amazon for like 20 bucks, you can see in the description below, and it's worked for the last 8 years. The cook kit usually costs less than $30. I've had for about a decade. The only thing you see fitting together cook kit that, I don't know, I just wanted something nice. Sorry, last but not least, let's talk about food. So if I'm in bear country or a place with a lot of critters, I will bring my bear bin. This is the bear vault. I was gonna show you, I'll usually bring 1 or 2 dehydrated meals, but I honestly feel like you can make your own for way cheaper. Let me know in the comments actually if you wanna know my cheap, delicious grocery store backpacking food. Now we're getting to my favorite part, my luxury comfort items. These are the things that make my trips just like extra splendid, extra splendid, and are the difference between like, cool, I went backpacking, and like, oh my god, I had the best time backpacking. These are the items that make that difference. First up is the REI Flex Light Chair. This is definitely a luxury item, but as you know, I broke my back. I have a lot of spinal issues. And so having a chair that's super lightweight, I mean, this I think is less than a pound. I think it's like 12 ounces, packs to about the size of a Nalgene. This makes a huge difference for anybody who has pain, injuries, joint issues. If you're an older hiker, I highly recommend getting yourself something like this. It's so lovely and it's great. And there's alpacas behind me. Now, these are my remaining 2 comfort items, and you're probably like, what is this? First of all, this is a robot. So this is the Out In Nano, wait for it, espresso maker. Yes, I'm a huge coffee girl. By being a friend of the channel, you actually get 15% off on this espresso maker using the link below. So it's really simple. You put your grounds in this little compartment, and you can also use a Keurig or like coffee canister. You screw it on, and then you have 2 options. Option 1 is to use cold water like I am here. You can get, I believe, up to 80 milliliters at a max. And this machine will actually heat the water for you. If you're using cold water, you hold down the button and you have it come out like so after about a minute. But if you use hot water, you can actually get 200 plus little espressos out of this. Ugh, it's honestly so good. I never drank straight espresso before this. Totally delicious. Guess what it is? So if you're a friend of the channel, you'll recognize this. I honestly can't recommend these little notebooks enough. The self-reflection you get when you're outdoors is unlike any other. You're so clear, the dust of everyday life is gone, I highly, highly recommend you get one of these. They're like $9 for an 8-pack in the description below. And they fit perfectly in your backpack pockets. And then I will bring my art supplies. I actually have a fine arts degree. Having a little like travel art kit like this for me is so fun because I'll just go, I'll put on my REI chair, I'll sit, and I'll just do some botanical drawings, or I'll like make something abstract, and this brings so much joy to my adventure. So I would love to hear from you. What are the little indulgences you bring backpacking? Tell me about it in the comments below. What is super essential though is obviously a rain jacket. I'll bring my puffer, and these are these are my layers. This is fashion show time, guys. I am wearing these REI hiking pants that have these awesome pockets and are very lightweight, very easy to move in. I always bring those pants and one pair of shorts, either these awesome Vuori shorts with 5 pockets or these $18 bike shorts with 2 side pockets. And of course, my REI camp shirt complete with many buttons and many pockets to adapt to all weather. My raccoon drinking a Moxie lightweight hat, and of course my sunglasses. These actually have a little rubber on the bridge because when you get sweaty, like your glasses always fall, right? And these just stick on my head and they're polarized, and also they look cool. A lot of times I'll also bring my hiking poles, and these are actually great for pitching emergency shelters. You can use it as a tent pole. So these are my Leckies. These were expensive. I definitely bought the lightweight expensive ones, but you can get cheaper ones. Clothing is somewhere you can save some money, but make sure you're still getting the right things and having fun, like whatever this is. It's not that kind of channel. I've had COVID for like a week, so look at my socks. Look at my socks. I always pack wool socks, and recently I've been using these Ultra Timp 5s as my hiking shoes. But I'll wear my Crocs around camp and when I need to use this bag, which I like to call my shit bag. Obviously, I have a poop trowel. You can't dig a cat hole very well without it. This one is super lightweight by the Tent Lab. I also use powdered toothpaste to shed a little weight, making up for my luxury items, and of course the basic essentials like contact lens solution and some floss. And this is my oh shit bag. It's my makeshift survival and first aid kit. So I have a safety blanket, some duct tape, some paracord, backup water filtration, of course some backup fire method in the case of emergency, a map, a compass, some moleskin for blisters, some super glue for first aid, and a pack of electrolytes and some emergency calories. I only have so little for my first aid because I have experience with survival and wilderness first aid in the backcountry. I highly suggest you start with a regular first aid store-bought kit like either of these. And of course, I bring backup batteries like this. I get 2 chargers as well as a backup emergency communication. I personally go for the Garmin InReach Mini. It took me years to convince myself to buy it, but the more I go solo, the more worth it is. And I think I forgot to mention, I of course bring a headlamp and some backup batteries. I like the Black Diamond Spot 350 specifically because of this feature. So this is a battery indicator. With other headlamps, I've gotten caught off guard, but with this one, it shows you how much battery is left. And you can also, because when you press this, it's touch sensitive and it goes between like a stronger and lighter light, which is amazing. I love not having to click this little button. So I would love to hear from you. What are the little indulgences you bring backpacking, or something on this list that you're like, girl, that's crazy? Please be nice, but tell me about it in the comments below. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me while I had COVID. Bye.